Right, let's do part 2, second stream of the day. Thought might as well, just had dinner, so we've got some time. So thought might as well do magma, and someone has in fact already joined our canvas and started drawing away. So we've got some catching up to do. Oh, and actually, give me 1 second. Need to sort something out. Need to do my brush sensitivity. Excuse me. Okay, we're back. And there you go. Right then, let's get drawing. Yep, we've got our pressure sensitivity now. And today I thought we could do kind of an interesting material machine. Let's just see what we end up going with. This is quite large, so I might make it a little bit smaller, but we'll see. Thinking a really like oblong screen. And what I want to do is I want to do a different texture on this machine to what we normally do. I want to do some kind of similar to the ship that we was painting earlier. I want to do some kind of indented material. A hex-clad type material, you know. It's going to be metallic. That looks pretty cool, and I like the idea that it's got some. I don't know. Do you put your hands in? I think you should put your hands into whatever is in here. So it should just get, you know, sucked. It should be facing down, really. Should be like that. We'll figure out how the holes should look. But I think it should be like holes that you stick your hands in. I think that would be kind of cool. Okay then. I'm gonna true up that and just make it a bit more even. And I've also changed my cursor, so it should be a bit easier to see for you guys now, hopefully. But it seems to change when I start drawing, and it's not visible on the stream anyway. I've just noticed. But we'll fix it again sometime. Okay then, let's make this metallic, and I'm going to go with a really greyish metallic colour. Really grey blue, and I'm starting with the darks too, so that's kind of how I'm thinking of it in my head right now. Like almost like a gunmetal. So it's just basic painting methods. We just you know, the stuff that's facing up is going to be brighter, the stuff that's facing down is going to be a little bit darker. We'll have to not forget that trapdoor being there. We'll slowly make it look more and more metallic. Okay, I can kind of see where this is going. I might change this screen. I do like the squareness though. It kind of reminds me like a sandblaster, I feel like. I think that's what I'm going to go for. The base should start to get a little bit brighter again. Maybe it should have pedals, I don't know. Should I give it just one pedal? I don't know, I feel like 2 pedals just makes sense, doesn't it? If I do add pedals. But I don't often add pedals to these machines. We'll see how I'm feeling later on in the painting. Starting to get the right look. Starting to get the right look. Okay. Thinking about the darkness. Was it? Goes into the screen there. Gets some kind of value for the sides here. looking pretty good already, actually. Yeah. Getting that metallic material down. Okay. I'll go for some brights. Add some Fresnel effect. What colour are we going to do the screen then? Or I don't know. I might do the screen. I normally do this kind of the green screens that are really nice and reflective, but I think maybe something different for this one. Should we try just a plain old black screen? We don't often try that, but I think that might work a bit better here. Yeah. It's kind of like more of a dark space sort of thing. A bit like, kind of like Silent. Looks like something from the... Excuse me. Looks like something from the 1960s, that kind of aesthetic, you know. I think it'll really look quite nice when... when I get the hexagonal texture on there. But that might be a bit tricky and tedious, so we'll see how it goes. It's really more of a test for that for us today. Okay then, however we end up rendering these kind of hole controls, could be around our hand. I don't know, maybe I'll end up doing some kind of joystick inside of them. Either way, the controls are going to be these two circles. We should figure out what we want to put in them. Something with some colour, maybe even. Don't know. What if it was two sticks like this? And kind of move them around with your hands. It should be kind of sunken. Sunken inside something like that. I don't know what material the outside edges of it should be yet. Let's just try out some, see what looks good value wise. How's that look? Yeah, I like that actually. Yeah. I'm going to stick with that. It's going to be a bit less deep than I was going to have them be. It's going to be kind of like that shape. That makes sense? Something like that. We'll still kind of go into a hole, I think. Should still be a funnel shape. Oh. Yeah, and it'll be much more, be a different kind of surface texture of metal, I think. We solved that pretty quick and easy. It's going well so far. I think I'm what is it? The rust has been officially kind of shaken off at the moment. Feeling good in this, you know, in Magma at the moment as well. Obviously, this isn't my first stream of today, so I've been painting in Critter most of today. Oh, yeah, the controls are slightly different, so sometimes you see my muscle memory kind of messes up a bit. It's like zoom in is that way, left and right on Magma, but it's up and down on Critter. Just trying to think what kind of highlights are going to end up on here. Although it is going to be split apart into loads of little hexagons, like I say, so it's really just kind of getting a base here. We're going to do some pretty nice surfacing, I think. It's going to be really pretty. I want that to be just a touch darker right there. Yep. Let's try the blur brush. Go on. You know what? It feels like the blur brush is actually playing goal a bit more now. I don't know, I'm just feeling magma right now. I've got the magma connection going. Maybe it's just because I'm painting with quite a bit more pixels here than I had with some of my previous drawings. Kind of hogging the space, really. But like I say, it's my own art jam. So the only rule I've added a rule to these art jams. I've written a couple of them. But I think one of the rules has been the size of your illustration should be proportionate to the amount of time spent on it. I think that's an important one for this software, you know. If someone comes and just draws something massive in 30 seconds and then leaves, you know, probably going to get shrunk. But if someone comes and draws something that's large and spends 2 hours on it, then it should stay, right? I wonder if anyone else will actually end up joining us. We'll see. But we're going to keep doing these regularly anyway, so I'm hoping we'll build up a little bit of a community. People who kind of regularly join on these. I don't know if I'll have like a regular, you know, set time when they'll come every week, but I suppose that'll have to happen at some point one day. This side's wider than this side. We need to probably fix that. Just make it a bit more symmetrical. Oh, I feel like making that highlight really yellow for some reason. Yeah, this whole right side I think we're going to make a little bit bigger. This machine's pretty much facing us perfectly. There's going to be some interesting geometry kind of where this base sticks onto the upper body there, so we'll have to kind of figure that out at some point. You see, for now we're just finding the patterns that describe the 3D shape that we're trying to make. Change my music. Got new music for the stream now as well, more like jazz music. So very happy with that at the moment. I think my mic, music, camera, it's all set up much nicer now. All I need to do is stop slouching. Let me find something. Gotta find just the right music, can you, to draw properly, go into the full state of drawing. There you go. Alright, so where are we? Should we use some filters on it? I think it might be filter time. Let's just get rid of some of this initial sketch. But yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if no one joins this art jam today. Oh well, I'll still paint. probably just the right time to sort of run it and stuff like that. And I think there's a big element of luck too. Like I say, we'll got regularity on our side, so. Oh, that's a tough one, that is. Trying to get this just right. Am I on the? I'm on the eraser. Oh my god, I was wondering why it felt weird. No wonder it was a tough one. Okay, there we go. Well, I still think we're going to need a big brush, and it might still be tough, yeah. Okay, how's that looking? See, we're just putting some little highlights in now. It's one of the best phases of the painting, really. Quite symmetrical highlights on this one in particular as well. See, it just instantly looks more real and more reflective. Wasn't we going to try the filters actually? Let's try the filters. So we want to do brightness and contrast first, usually. And you want the brightness to be just a bit ahead, like above the contrast. Maybe something like that. Does that look better? Yeah. See, that's what it should look like. It should look like you just flick the light switch on, you know. Lights off, lights on, lights off, lights on. Oh, sometimes my mouse double clicks now. It's an old mouse. So yeah, see that? Much less dull now. And we could up the saturation as well. Often needs doing, but I'm gonna do that maybe next time we use the filters. Because there's not much to really play with at the moment anyway. See how this looks. I went a bit overboard there. Maybe on both of them I went a bit overboard. Just a little bit overexposed at the top. There you go. You can really sort of see how this thing would be controlled. Work some of these highlights into the base as well. How's that looking? This door I didn't really do much work on, so to make this look nice. This is just a pretty basic embossment. It's a nice kind of area where you can use it though. So to create these panel lines, make them look like they've really got some depth. See, we're just doing kind of a bright line underneath the dark line that we did earlier, and that looks like the top of the that bottom surface of the panel line now. Maybe a bit higher detail than we should have gone so early though. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, I'm trying to get rid of some of the brush strokes here. It's making it a bit lighter than I'd like, but we can go in and fix it. How nice this is looking now. See how 3D we got it. Trying to glaze a little bit here and get these complex shapes to be a little bit more readable. How's that looking? You know, I've been thinking about zooming in the stream a little bit more again lately. I don't know, I just zoom out and in so much. Maybe it's just something that I'll have to try and do a little bit less when I'm streaming, I'm not sure. Not sure what the solution is for that one. I want there to be... It's like that's going to be a light, I think. I don't add many lights on my design, so yeah, why not? Especially these kind of differently shaped lights. I usually reserve them for the environment, like the actual ships. How does that look? It looks kind of strange. What if I do that? Yeah, I think that's better. You know what, maybe instead of a light it should be yeah, another kind of texture of metal. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, I think. Needs that darkness underneath there, that shadow there. Yeah, it looks just right, doesn't it? Okay. Just pulling out the smooth brush here. We've got to get these to look just right. Just slightly concave is what I'm going for. That one looks pretty right already, to be fair. I don't know if that'll need much more work. This one's not too bad either. Here's where we kind of start to work the accuracy into it as well, you know. We paint these things so organic, but they're not really... They are organic forms, but they certainly have their design, you know, built into them. How symmetrical they are and such. Yeah, we'll figure these out. Could even go with different controls, but I think we should settle on these. I do like how they look. I think it needs an antenna because it's a bit short with its kind of shortened screen. So let's add that on. I'm just going to add this silhouette of it, and then we'll do the values that live in that silhouette. Okay then. And we just kind of fill the silhouette in like that. There you go. Maybe it should have a taller antenna, I don't know. I like the look of that one there. Some of these little, you know, smaller reflections around the outside. Maybe you can almost see something in the reflection there. I think we should have more of that. These reflections need to escape just a little bit more into the actual thing. Let's hit that with the blur brush right there. See what that does to it. Yeah, the blur brush is back to being weird again. Never understand this blur brush. That's looking nice, right? I'm gonna add these random lights where they belong and such. There you go. We got it. I'm gonna try and remember to do some different coloured light sources, right? Change the colours of them in certain places. Fit right there. I haven't even added the hexagon texture yet. It'll almost feel wrong now, you know, because we've got it, you know, we've got it looking so right, just like this. But that was the initial plan. We can make a copy of it maybe, and then we'll have a copy of it before and after. But I think, you know, as an artist, you gotta do the, you gotta be brave sometimes and do those things with your painting that you can't go back on. Struggling to figure out the reflections for this base. I feel like they would probably stick around this area because it's a bit of like a crevice. They might get sucked right there. Does that make sense? A bit like that. Just because there's that sort of shape. So here, here maybe, and here. That's where the reflections are kind of getting pulled towards, you know? I feel like just under here wants to be a bit darker right there. Starting to look good, isn't it? Get these to be a bit more symmetrical, if anything. This one ended up with too much darkness around it as well. I think it's too low of a value. Yeah, just like that. Not sure what you control with this device. I'm gonna make this the panel lines on this. I thought I might need to. I'm gonna make them just a bit less pin sharp. Make it a bit thicker. And we're gonna do that same adjustment for the highlights of it too. There you go. Oh, actually a little bit more. There you go. So you see that just fits in a little bit more now. Sorry, I just bumped the mic. That just fits in a little bit more now because it's a bit more in keeping with the rest of the image. And you know what? We can do little, you know, it can have its own kind of ecosystem of reflections as well. There's no reason why not. See that? They should be on the same scale as the other reflections there, I feel like. Something like that. Oh, maybe a little bit different. Yeah, you gotta just get what feels right with these highlights and just have a few goes with all of them. I think that one should be very blue. Something like that. Yeah, let's add just a bit of color abstraction as well before we start cutting this surface into the hexagons. So obviously blue. It's going to be a big involvement here. Plenty of blue areas. Quite a blue painting in general. And I'm thinking greens and yellows as well. I really want to make sure some of those are involved. Especially the greens. The greens are a good way to instantly... You do add a lot of realism, especially if a subject is really purple, like this one is, because it's kind of polar opposite. Add some just down there, maybe on the base as well. Some actual yellow too. I think especially around the lights as well for the yellow. See this color abstraction pass. So simple. I'm going to try some reds right there in that shadow spot you see right there. Yeah, these. What was I saying? Yeah, doing the colour abstraction like this adds a whole new depth of realism to your painting a lot of the time. It helps you to see it a little easier too. Just makes it more interesting for the audience for sure. That's the biggest effect though. Some proper purples in here, I think. Maybe in there too. Yeah. You'll see now. Watch what I do with the filters now. Right, we're going to get the brightness and contrast. We're going to be doing that again. Switching the lights on again. Try not to lose too much information. When you do this, that's the risk. We've got to get it just right there. There you go. There you go. You see how it looks again? Like we've switched the lights on in the room that it's in. It's kind of like the lights are off versus the lights are on. Okay, and then the next one, we're going to... And when you do that, you kind of lose some of the saturation too, but... Yeah, we want to... Ooh, it might not actually need much saturation boost, you know. I think just there. Yeah, it's already pretty much perfect. I thought it would need more saturation boost, honestly, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. Wow. This thing looks metal. Beautiful. Well, I'm really happy with it so far. Where it is, would almost be like, you know, and we've done it so fast, by the way. This painting. 35 minutes it's taken. That's all. Yeah, this software is pretty good for painting this particular subject, I've got to say. Can do the machines. The computers. What are they? Are they space machines or space computers? I don't know. Sometimes it's a bit of both, really. It's a bit of a mix. Getting some highlights in here. Maybe I should do the reflection of that even, you know? Should be in there. Should make that one match it a little bit more. I think both of these balls are kind of different sizes at the moment, so should probably line them up. Give it a bit of Fresnel effect as well, I think. A bit more Fresnel effect anyway on each of these balls. So we're just going to paint the left and the right side a bit more strongly. Something like that. Wow, yeah, there you go. One of those where it doesn't really, the effect doesn't really sink in until you zoom out. How nice does that look now? I just want to make that a bit darker there. Same with this one. Should really have some more stuff going on at the bottom of the screen, I feel like. Just gonna go over that with the blur brush, why not? I feel like there needs to be some more reflections going on in the background of the screen, to be honest. Something like that, maybe? No. Making it a bit too busy, maybe. Okay, then. These aren't really symmetrically shaped enough to get by quite yet, and they're very low detail. They're very low detail part of the painting. Something like that. Okay. Let's make these the same size then. It's looking nice. Just blur that a little. Yeah, and on this side, just blur the Fresnel a little bit more into the ball itself. Hard as that is with this blur brush. Wow, look how realistic that one looks now. It's been super satisfying to paint so far, this has. I feel like every time I come to paint on stream again, it just feels what is it, more and more satisfying each time. Okay, are we going to walk it? Are we going to do this this hexagon shape? Okay, we need some hexagons to show the middle. It's going to be like a hexagon there. You know what? Let's yeah, let's. That's good. That's a 40-minute stream. We've got I think we've got enough there. I'm gonna stop tonight, and maybe tomorrow we'll do the hexagons on this, and I think I will do a copy. I don't think anyone's gonna join this art jam anyway, so tomorrow we'll do it in the morning, and probably more people will join. So we'll see. And we'll keep these art jams going, so it doesn't matter if no one joined today. We'll keep going. People will eventually start drawing, of course. Start joining, of course. Sorry. We'll start drawing too. But yeah, right. I will leave you guys with that image.